Hi, here we are. Welcome to Tuesday Talk, our Tuesday team talk. We have different subjects every single time that we hop on, just things that are needed or things that we see or questions or things that are working really, really well. But first, before we get going, I want everyone to share in the chat what you're loving and using product wise and what it is doing for you. Okay. I want everyone to participate. We're even though we're on a Zoom, this is not a presentation. We're here together to just collaborate for like 35 to 40 minutes to feel empowered when we leave, and we have actions to be able to take that are going to help you build your business. Close out a week. Tomorrow we're closing out. Remember, we get paid weekly. I love that. I'm sure you guys do too. And it's just so nice because I always tell people, I'm like, you can hightail it in a week and you can give yourself a raise. If you're like, I know this is getting, or this is coming, or this is due, or whatever, the fact that you can literally go and create that in a week is something that so many people pray for. So I want you guys to share in the chat. And here's the thing that I want you guys to know. So for me, I'm just going to share aloud as you go. I love to hear and see the things that you guys are using, that you're finding, that you're loving, and sharing what it's doing for you. Because here's the thing, you guys. Sometimes, like, yes, you join this business and you're like, I'm here to make money, obviously, right? Like, that's amazing. But I think sometimes you don't realize how impactful the tools that you have can be for other people. Like, yes, you benefit too, but so do they. And so I want you guys to see and just read the chat on here. And I know for me, one thing that I had always been huge on into was gut health, right? It helps me with my hormones, it helps me with my energy, it helps with so many different things. But I know adding in the Premier Health Protocol has changed so much for me. And I just love for you guys to hear those things. Carly and I, we were talking last night about the things that we were going to share tonight. And we were just like, you start sharing and you're like so wowed by what these products are doing for people. Like, they're truly life changing and changing people's health, and they're changing people's energy. They're changing their mood. They're changing, all these things start adding up, and it truly changes the quality of somebody's life. And so even though we say life changing, that's kind of the things we mean. So as you start reading the chat, I want you to understand, like, if these people didn't find these products, or somebody hadn't offered them to them, or you're kind of being quiet and you're not offering things to people, you are doing a disservice for them. Okay. Because I know for me, as I started using the products, I was like, first thing I noticed, I was telling Carly this, it was like my sleep improved immensely with the balance oil. I was like, what is happening? But then what happened with that is my energy was higher, right? Then my mood is better. And then all of a sudden I'm like more active. So my results are getting better. And it's like this waterfall effect of the quality of life and how it changes everything for you. And so those are some of the things. Joint pain, I hear it all the time. People are like, my joint pain is literally gone. And I'm like, isn't that crazy? I was telling Carly, I was talking to someone, they're like, there's no way that you have a 15-year-old. And I'm like, no, I literally do. But I feel like I hadn't gotten comments on my skin or my age until I started the balance oil. And I want you guys just to understand, like, that is the power of fixing your cells or focusing on cellular health. Your skin starts glowing. It's like anti-aging. And not that we mean that for looks, but it's in every part of your body. Like, your joints start feeling younger, right? And so it makes you want to move your body more, instead of like dreading it, right? Because you are sore and all these things. So as you read, I really want you to take a moment just to read the chat, because I want you to understand that what we're doing and why we are loud and sharing is we have the ability to impact people's lives positively, right? And we're going to be talking about that today. And the other, like, the one thing is you guys, wellness is only continuing to grow. You have to understand that. And I'm sure you're starting to see it. When you see strip malls and different things, I don't know about you guys, but we have strip malls all over the place and little like shopping areas. The amount of wellness shops that are popping up in those, whether it's Pilates or it's certain food like smoothies or just different things, all focused on wellness, right? They're popping up everywhere. And so one of the things that I want you guys to know is that wellness is not an option anymore. Like we are having to make it a priority. Our food has changed. Different things are being allowed that probably aren't benefiting people, right? And so to be able to reverse those things, you kind of do have to be prioritizing your wellness. And so the fact that we have the ability to not only give people the tools to do that, I don't know about y'all, but if you've ever walked into a supplement store, it is the most overwhelming experience of all time. I would 10 times rather find somebody that is on social media, whether I know them or not, and hone in on what they're doing. And if what they're sharing and educating on is aligning with where I want my focus to be, I am going to go to them 10 times more than I would ever walk into a store. And so know that that is what so many other people feel when they are seeing your stuff, when they are hearing the things that you're sharing, when you're sharing your testimonies. There is so much power behind that. And so that is why we talk about not only being a product of the product and using the products, finding the products that you love that are helping you feel your best, but also sharing them loudly for others. Because again, what brings us together is usually some sort of pain point where we're like, wow, we relate to that. We kind of have the same focus. You have the same energy going in the same way. And all of a sudden, before you know it, you've created this relationship, whether you've known that person or not. And so the other thing that I want to share with you before we go in tonight is like, I was on it was like, I don't even know if I want to call it a training, but it was just like a meeting type thing. And the speaker said something and it like literally just stuck with me. And they said, if you want to be a master, you need to show up to practice. And y'all, you like, I'm going to repeat that one more time. If you want to be a master, you need to show up to practice. Okay. What I want to share with you before, like when you're hopping on any of these calls, we didn't start here. When you see a successful story, no matter what it is, whether it's a fitness, whether it's a business, no matter what story it is that you're seeing, it's an athlete, whatever it is, everyone starts as a beginner. Every single one of us starts as a beginner. Okay. And the one thing that sets people apart that find success is that they are willing to show up consistently, which allows them to learn faster, and they apply what it is that they're learning. So they are practicing over and over and over again. This is the same type of stuff. When you show up to a training or to a Zoom. So with this merge, you guys, I can't tell you how many calls I've been on. Okay. But also I know like outside of our weekly one, like that's a short period of time, but I need to learn. Like I want to be a master on these things. And so if I want to do that, I have to be showing up. I have to be willing to learn. I have to be taking my notes. I have to show up to practice, right? Because that's how you become good at the things you are. So first of all, you're here tonight. I want you to pat yourself on the back for that because it is important. This is practice, right? And you don't have to learn these things on your own. That is something that I like love about this business that stands out compared to any other business. Like Carly and I were talking about it, and I'm like, the fact that we can run a business how we want to run a business, but the product line is already there, the research has already been done, the systems are already in place for us, y'all. Like we are sitting on a gold mine. The fact that we have a team and we have community and you don't have to know everything, but you can learn a whole lot when you actually collaborate and you get on these calls because we all have different strengths. Like that is something that you're going to know tonight. So what Carly's talking on, this is not something that I'm necessarily good at. Like I was like, Carly, I want to know too. When she was talking about it, where I was like, yes, I want to know. I am always out there being like, I want to know how to work smarter, not harder. Now, am I going to work hard? For sure, I am. But if we can do things and multiply things and duplicate things without making it harder, like, wouldn't we want to do that? Drop a two in the chat if you're here for that. Okay. So that's kind of what we're going to go over tonight. And that's what Carly's going to be sharing tonight is she's going to be sharing and teaching you how to further your reach, because that is one of the things you can build this business in whatever way that you want to build this business. For a lot of us, we do all things. Like my hands are in everything. So when it comes to certain things, like I'm talking in person, I'm using my social media. But one thing I want to tell you is social media, there's just no way around it. It is going to further your reach and it is going to expand your territory way further than what you can do in person. And not to mention, if you're doing it, it actually supports what you're doing when you are out and about in your daily life. Okay. So there are so many times that I'll like show up to the hockey rink. If y'all don't know me, I'm a hockey mama. But I'll show up to the hockey rink and people will literally say, "Hey, I saw your story today. Can you tell me more about that? Or will you send me more information?" And it's like, I didn't have to even go search for that conversation, but I had the info there. We've already connected through hockey. Like there's so many different things. And Carly's going to be talking about that tonight too. And so just know that tonight we're going to show, Carly's going to show you how to use reels and create them, but also trial reels. And I was sitting here thinking, and I'm like, Host to Post allows us to expand outside of our network, right? And we love Host to Post. Like Host to Post is an incredible freaking tool. Guess what? Trial reels also allows you to expand outside your network. Okay. So you have to think your exposure is increasing. And if you have your exposure increasing, your enrollments will usually increase as well. So, really, really neat to be thinking about those things. And if you are that type of person that's like, I am so scared of what people think, or there's so many people that in my 14 years of business that are like, I would rather post to people that I don't know first before I post to people that I do. This is for you. Like, this is one of the coolest things about trial reels is that you are posting to people that don't even know you. And for whatever reason, sometimes people are a little bit more gutsy when it comes to those types of things. So, Carly, I'm going to hand it over to you. Carly is really good at social media. She has dove into trial reels as soon as it kind of started giving us the option to do so. And she has seen how it expands our reach big time. And so she's going to show us not only about them, but she's going to show us how to create them and really how she can create 4 to 5 different ones. You guys, 4 to 5. Like, I don't know about you guys, but it takes me a lot. It takes me kind of long. So when I hear 4 to 5 in like 20 minutes, I'm like, how? Like, literally, my brain is instantly like, how? How does that happen? And it's good quality like reels. That's the thing too. So I want you guys to know that, but she's going to show you exactly how to be able to do that in a short amount of time that you can reuse. And there's just simple editing tools. So make sure that you are watching because she is going to be sharing her screen. So Carly, I'm going to let you I'm going to let you get started, my friend.
Okay. Hi. If you guys don't know me, I am Carly. I have been in network marketing. I still am trying to say it works, but it's not, it works anymore. For just over 3 years, I actually was Sarah's nanny for quite a while before I even joined in. I was transitioning out of working for her because her little one was going to preschool. And I was like, Sarah, like, I'm going to have no money. Can I do what you're doing? And I didn't even ask her in person, even though I was literally at her house every day. I swiped up on one of her stories and was like, "Hey, is this something I could do?" And she's like, "You were literally at my house 20 minutes ago. What is wrong with you? We'll get you signed up tomorrow." And that's exactly what I did. And so there's a couple things that I didn't take super seriously in the beginning that I want to talk about, which is why I'm so passionate about Reels now, because I was one of those people that I could post on TikTok all day, but I didn't even have Facebook, first of all. And then posting on Instagram Reels felt so scary because it was like only people that I knew, only people from high school. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is awful. I hate it. And then I just started doing it and my business started growing. And then now we have the option to do trial reels, which is only to people that you don't know. And I love it because like Sarah said, I can make 4 to 5 reels in a day, post them up with different sounds and captions, and then it's literally just generating views from people that don't even follow me. And then because they're seeing my stuff so often, they are ending up following me, and it's been great. And so today, kind of like what Sarah was saying, I'm gonna do the reverse, just like a little story that happened today. Because I'm posting so frequently on my socials, I'm able to have conversations in person as well. And I had a customer today, she owns a coffee cart, and I invest. I am my own customer, so I buy products from myself, like we can do at Zinzino now, which is literally the coolest thing ever. I'm obsessed with it because it helped me get my Q team bonus. I earned my money back. I'm earning commission off of what I'm already loving, and I just think it's so great. But she orders from me. She does the balance oil and the fiber, and I took her a couple packets of collagen today, and she had people one of her other staff members in her coffee cart with her. And then she had a customer, which is another food truck owner that's right next to her, which I love. And so I got to give her a product because I chose to invest in it for my business, which is really crazy that you can just have a couple products that you love and get to share it with other people. And because I chose to go just give her that, I didn't ask her for any money. I was like, hey, I want you to try this. I think that you'll love it because you're loving everything else. And my hope is that she's going to add it onto her next shipment. But I was able to hop into conversation with two more people and get two potential customers because I just chose to share in person. And then she obviously has her own product testimony already, was like, guys, my skin is so great. And they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, it is. And this girl's like, I'm dealing with skincare issues. I need to know about this. And so then when these people friended me on Facebook, now they're going to see all of my posts that I've been doing, all of my results, all of other people's results. And sharing results is so important. And now not only do we have like the physical picture results of like, here's my before, which I don't know if you guys have seen my skincare before and afters, but wow. And it's uncomfortable to share those things. I was telling Sarah last night, like, I don't like sharing my befores because that was like the most uncomfortable I've ever felt in my own skin. And that's really hard. Um, but now I can show my afters and people are like, oh my gosh, like literally, what did you do? What are you doing? Like, are you going and getting facials? I get asked if I'm like on these expensive skincare regimens. And you guys, I like wash my face with soap and water and I take the balance oil. Like that's really as extensive as my skincare goes. And so just being able to share that, sorry, I just get so excited talking about this, but I want to show you guys, we are going to be kind of just talking about trial reels and my pillars that I do that help me with that. So I think I'm going to be able to share my screen now. And I tried to make everything into folders today. So that way, oh, here we go. So that way I wasn't looking all around in my whole thing. Is it, oh, here. Okay, is it sharing? I can't actually see anything.
Yep, we
Okay.
can see it.
Okay, perfect. So what I'm gonna go do is if you guys have the app, well, first I'm gonna show you actually my examples. So I have like 3 or 4 different types of content that I do. And this is like my results based one where it's literally just like my results first up on the screen. And it just shows like, this is my skin, guys. It was really bad. And my bloating and my inflammation. And then I just transition to what my results are now. And it's pretty straightforward. And then I normally do with those like a longer caption about what I was struggling with, which I make on ChatGPT. It's so easy. And then this one, I call it my habit builder. And it really just shows, oh, and so that one just shows that I'm doing something every single day because people like to see consistency, whether it's you showing up or just your content. And obviously, I'm in different outfits. My skin looks different. My hair looks different in every single one. And so they're seeing, wow, this girl is actually doing this. I'm going to go read what she's taking because why is she taking shots in her pajamas? Like, that's weird. You know what I mean? And so then I have this one, which I use with my like actual numerical results. And I will do like just kind of like a hook caption, but it's just me making my balance oil. And then I will put in the caption, things about omegas. And I'll share my captions with you guys too, just because then you can go put them into ChatGPT and personalize them. And then I will do one that kind of does all of it. So it shows my physical results, my transformation, and then it shows the habit and my numbers. And so those are, I hate like not being able to see you can see my face and me. But those are just like my 4 pillars. But what I do is if you guys want to open CapCut, if you're able to, if you're not also on your phone, if you guys got that downloaded, what you can do is if it will let me click on the button. Okay. Is I have just dozens and dozens and dozens of copies of pretty much the same thing. And so I will go in and like on this one, I will make a video and I'll just crop, shorten up some of the transition times of things. Oops. But then you can go in here and I will um, you can click on these three dots. Am I going too fast? I can't see the chat. I can't literally see anything besides my screen. So someone's going to have to talk to me if I need to slow
Okay.
down.
So, how are you making? Can you show them like where you start to make your video?
Oh, yeah. So you can go into here into edit and do new video. And then I will go into just my random videos. Let's see what is something that I did the other day. We'll just do this one. This is me talking about my balance stuff. And then it already has the captions on it. But then, so that's how you go to start a video. And then you can go into your projects. And then there's the 3 lines on the side here. And you can do duplicate. So then you have your original and then your copy. And then what I will like, if you guys can see here, it'll say like copy, and then this one says copy, copy, because that's one that I've changed again. And so what I'll do is I will make one. So this is like an example of my results. And so I have like a ton of bad skin results. I've had bad skin pretty much my whole life. And so I just edited in some videos together and I cropped it how I wanted to show. And then I go into like a pretty like I try to do like a pretty smooth-ish transition just so people can really see like, wow, that was her face, and then wow, that's still her face, but it's different. And I will do a caption that is just relatable. Like, this was my skin when I was using expensive products, taking a million supplements, and prioritizing my gut health. And then versus my skin when I finally got to the root of my inflammation. And so, sorry, I feel like I had this all planned out so good in my head, and I start to explain and I feel like I'm bad at explaining. So, um, like I just edit everything together, and then I'm able to go post it as a trial reel. And so but then what you can do is here is if I want to post kind of the same thing but a little bit different, I will go in here and I will click duplicate, and then now it's copy, copy, copy. And then I can go in here and I will just change. I will literally, all I will do is I will reorder my results. And sometimes I will go in and you can click on something and then it has the replace. And right now, I don't really have any, like, you can just replace it with whatever. Obviously, I would normally do a results video, and then you can change the wording of it. And I just change it into like my skin when I was doing everything right. And my skincare ones do a lot better for me. If you are a person that has like a weight loss transformation, or you're a person who, like your bloating and overall inflammation has gone down, like do what works best for you. Or if your skin has transformed like mine, do share like what's real to you, because what works for my audience might not work for yours because you're in different stages of life. And that's, I think, what's the coolest part about social media. And then I can still keep my same versus my skin when I finally got to the root. But it won't flag it on social media as the same video because it's not, because the wording is different and the way that, the picture layouts are different. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So essentially, tell me if I'm right. So essentially, for trial reels, you guys cannot post the same video. So you know how like when we do reels, if you posted a reel like 2 months ago, you might use the exact same video. Trial reels, you have to edit, you have to change it just a tiny bit. So, like Carly said, just taking out one edit and then replacing it maybe with the newest one that you just took, or reordering it, that's enough to change it to that where it's like, okay, it's not the same one, right? But you're not having to go in and recreate the whole thing or take all new videos. She's simply going in and just changing small things about it, which changes it in trial reels and allows her to post multiple.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one difference between trial reels and just regular reels.
Yes, is you
Yes.
can't just share the same thing over and over again, because I
Yes.
didn't know that and I did that and it was like, we're restricting your reach because this looks similar to something. And I was like, oh, so then all of my trial reels for a while got like 2 views and I was like, okay, cool. But I wanted to show you guys like kind of where you even find it is then in here if you go in, um, then you go into Reel. I think that you might have to have a professional account. So definitely having a public account, which is what we want on social media
Yeah.
anyway. But I think you might have to have a professional dashboard, which is literally really actually useful for this type of business because you're able to see, like, I'm able to see my views over time. I'm able to see all sorts of stuff. I don't like get a ton into it, but if you're not able to find where the trial reel toggle is, just send me a message on Facebook and I will show you like how to do that. But where did that video go? I must not have saved it. But then this is one that I made yesterday. And so then I'll swipe up and it doesn't have any sound on it. And then you can go in and I will normally try to find an audio that has like a transition in the music, because then it kind of builds up and people are like, oh, there's going to be a beat drop. So there's going to be some sort of transformation. And so right now, what's working for me is this Beauty and a Beat, and Who's That Girl. And what I found is like I can post a ton of reels with the same audio and it'll generate really good views for a while and then it'll just kind of fall off. So then I switched to just like one single new audio with a different video every time and then it regenerates my views. And so see, because then there's like the little beat drop in the song and then it transitions. But you go in and you create it just like you would a regular reel. So you go in, you press the plus button on the reel, you can add your audio. But then when you go to do your caption, under audience and like the add AI label, there should be an option and a toggle that says trial. And so in your feed, your reels will only be shown to non-followers first and won't appear on your profile. If it performs well, you can automatically share it to everyone. I don't have the automatic sharing because I don't want my page to suddenly just be blown up with like 85 reels a day because I am posting like 5 of these every single day. Um, are we following
Yeah.
everyone? I can't see the chat or anything.
Does anybody have questions so far on like showing in CapCut how she does? So one thing I want you to know is don't overcomplicate this. Okay. So Carly, like once you kind of know like how you want to do your, whether it's the face, whether it's your stomach, whatever it is that you're trying to show, right? That shows your transformation per se or your results. Um, you guys, like even her habit one, that is something like you're already filming stuff for stories. You instead of like filming your story and then putting text on it right away, hit save. Just
Mhm.
hit save. So like Carly's like, I literally don't take my balance oil without having my camera set up and just recording it. She's like, because I know that this is something where I can go switch a few of those out in a couple days and it helps me with changing up my reels so I can push out some more new ones, right? So it's something as simple as that. So when she's talking about habits, like show yourself making your coffee, like just video yourself, and you'll have all these different ones. And that way you can use it for your stories, but also you can use it for your reels. You can use it for your trial reels. Like it starts kind of cohesively all working together.
Mm.
Does that make sense? You drop a one in the chat if we're following. Let's see where we're at. I'll be your chat monitor. Yeah. Okay, I see ones coming. And if you have a question, I want you to put it in the chat so we can answer it. Okay.
Yeah, Sarah, you'll have to tell me.
No, they
But
got
then,
it. It's saying one. So this is
okay,
working well.
good,
Um,
good.
so the other thing is Carly was going to show you too how to do in edits, which is
Oh, yeah,
literally part of our Instagram app.
yes.
What do
And
you
so we can go in and do that. I'm gonna send you guys over in the chat when I'm done screen sharing a couple of my like caption ideas, but then I just put them into Chat GPT and I'll be like, make it more blah 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 or blah 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 or tailor it to Facebook, tailor it to Instagram, tailor it to TikTok. Because AI is a really useful tool in that, and I'll be like, rewrite it so it's shorter, make it more informational. And I'll essentially use the same shell of a caption for all of the videos that I post in one day because like 3 words might be different, and then suddenly it's like boom, this one blows up. But I'm gonna save this draft. But then I was gonna show you too, once you start posting trial reels, you can find it under your reels tab. And then if you go into here, it'll say drafts and trial reels. But I was just gonna show you like like some of them get really good views. I also post in here a lot of my like random funny stuff because people want to see you, and it's really important to be a person outside of just, your business. And so sharing these random things or sharing that funny thing, or Sarah does obviously like her mom content, and one of her posts blew up, and so then she's getting followers from that, and then they're seeing, wow, Sarah is a mom, oh wow, she's a hockey mom, oh wow, she's running a business, oh wow, look at this transformation. And so sharing things that aren't just business related on trial reels is really important too, because it's where I've gotten like all of my viral posts have come from, and it's where I've gotten a majority of my followers just from posting different things. Like you'll see here, this one has 300 views, but the one next to it has 12,000, and one of them had 74,000. Um, and there's a mix of my business in here, but and then same, like I post a lot about books and TV shows on my trial reels because that's what does really well. But I was gonna show you, does that make sense too? Like just post about your life. And I do the same thing with duplicatable content on I record everything. First of all, I record literally every single thing that like has ever happened to me because everything is content. And so like this video of me on the beach, I'm running over here, but then I have the same video with a totally different caption on it, and I post it with different music, and I post it on trial reels, and I'll even post them on TikTok. And because you can use the same video and nobody cares. Um, and I do the same. I use the same wording on my all of my partner posts because this is what really works for me. And then sometimes when they start falling off, I just change a little bit. But it's always just looking for ambassadors, and it's something so simple. My ones that I'm sitting in the car do so well for some reason. I don't know why. They do better than the ones where I'm like doing the absolute most. And I think that's really important to remember is sometimes like you don't have to do the most. You can just chill out and whatever. And so if you guys are ever scrolling on Instagram Reels and you're like, wow, this is a crazy, like, how did they sync all of their like clips to that sound? That must have taken so long, like this one I made. I actually just got it from Edit. So if you find anything on Instagram, it will take you to edits. I saved a couple specific ones because I thought that they were really good examples. And so if you're just scrolling through Reels, it'll say like template from edits or made in edits or whatever. But then like it'll say use template, and it'll take you right over to the app. Everything is already typed out. All you have to do is add from your gallery, and then you can do a picture or a video or whatever works for you. But then there was this one, which I just love. But then what's really cool on that one is you can just swipe here and do keep clip, and it will literally keep her entire thing that she already made, and all you have to do is add yourself on this first one. So then it's like, and it's all timed out and all done for you. And so that's like some of those can get more time consuming if you have, like this one has a bunch of clips that I like went to go choose and find, but I didn't have to think of the timing on it. I didn't have to edit and scroll and come up with this huge caption idea. This isn't even a very good one because you can't even read what it says on it. But just like different things like that, it makes it so easy because it already has a cool font. It already has a sound. Sometimes you have to add a sound, but like again, here's my video of me running on a cloudy beach. I don't need, and so this app is literally one of my favorite things ever.
Carly, can you show again can you show them where to look where it says like made in edits or where it says
Yeah.
like use template. So it's just down in the left corner, you guys. So as you scroll, like Carly said,
I love you, Bob.
you'll like say
Right
you're like,
here.
yeah.
I
Do you
can't wait
see
to
this?
marry
How
you.
it's like right here? And it says made with edits. So
Bobby,
if
you were
click
never
that or
exactly
you
known
see that,
as a ladies' man.
essentially you can go in and plug in your own videos, but it's already clicked. Like how she's doing little clips like that, the timing with the beat is already done for you. Now, not all of them do that. So like Carly, if you click on one of those, do another one. You can do even one of the ones that you had. Okay, so see how it says use template? It said use template down in the corner. She can go through here.
Oops, I'm sorry. I don't know where I am.
Okay, so she can go through here and she is going to, that first part is that girl, right? So obviously that's not Carly. So she's going to replace that when she hits that, and she's going to take a video of herself. So it's already in your camera roll. This could be literally you taking a morning walk tomorrow. Okay, you guys, or it could be you video yourself talking to your computer and you are working and really you're just making your video right now. Okay, so you can do anything right there. But then on the next clips, because this girl went and found already the stuff that Carly wants to use, she is going to keep the next clip. So see how when she clicks on it, it says keep clip. So she's going to keep all of these pictures. If she wanted to change those, she could, right? But she wants to keep it. So essentially all she had to go in to do to make it her own was replace that girl's face with a video of her, which Carly, it's probably a video that she did like for a reel or for, doing a story when she was talking. And again, all you do is silence it. So it's not like you're having to go in and redo it. And it's very natural because she was truly like talking on her stories, So that is why, like in stories, when you're in there and you're taking the time to do a video, just click download before you do anything else with it. Okay. And that's what Carly and I were talking about. We're like, you know what? Sometimes you have to slow down just a little bit to be able to speed up. So there are times and days that when I'm like home and once my kids start school, I have a little bit more time to share my morning routine and video things. And I can make some like really like eye-pleasing stories, right? But then what's awesome is, so if I have like a slower week, I'm going to go and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to I'll commit to like 7 days. If I look at my schedule and I'm like, hey, I'm actually home and I'm doing this. So I'm like, I'm going to go and I'm going to video those things, those 7 days. You guys, do you understand that if you videoed your stories for 7 days in a row, how many reels and how much content that you will be able to reuse on your busy days when you're traveling, when you're on vacation, so that your business is still running, you are still present, but you are not having to create. Does that make sense? So you do have to take just a little bit. So like Carly, when you go in and you edit your trial reels, like in CapCut, when you're just changing like a few things, how long do you feel like it takes you? If you're like, okay, I'm going to sit down tonight before I go to bed and I'm going to come up with some reels, like how long does it take you to go in and edit and just use the videos that you've already had?
To go in and edit the ones that I've already had, I would say it literally can if I don't have my camera roll organized, I try to keep it pretty much like these results, blah blah blah. Like I try to keep it, honestly, sometimes the longest part of editing is just finding stuff in my camera roll. But I could edit like 4 different videos in like 5 minutes if I'm really just changing only a couple things and the wording. And if I can't think of wording to change, I just ask ChatGPT and I'm like, hey, give me a transformational hook that's scroll stopping. And but yeah, after I create the initial stuff, which the initial reels, depending on how intense I want to do it, like the ones where I'm just taking a balance shot and have an overlay of my results, that takes like maybe 3 to 5 minutes to edit. But my ones that are like the results might take a little bit longer, but again, it's because I'm looking through my camera roll. And so even those videos really only take me maybe 15 minutes to do.
So yeah, and that's where like as you do create, and I know this is easier said than done because y'all, I've been creating content for 14 years and my camera it's kind of a mess. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And every time I do have to scroll, I'm so pissed at myself. I'm like, dude, what? Like, just take a moment to actually save some of your stuff. And even if you go month by month, you guys, you'll notice like you'll get rid of screenshots. Like, I screenshot stuff for ideas all the time. And sometimes if I'm about to screenshot another one, I'm like, nope, you need to go use your other idea before you get to save this new one. I kind of like, you have to have like this little deal with yourself, you know? But one of the things with that, you guys, is just remember trial reels are short. You don't have to put a crazy amount of thought. You do want to repeat. You guys, you have to understand being repetitive is what gets people. Okay. So being repetitive, people need to see things like they need to see Carly 4 times in a row or 5 times before they actually go and are like, who's this chick that I keep seeing over and over in these crazy transformations? And then they're like, wait, again, like Carly said, they're like, what is she taking a shot of? Like somebody literally asked me the other day, they were like, is that egg yolk? I'm like, oh, they think I'm Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. I was like, no, it is not egg yolk. But it's like, it's intriguing, right? So you don't give all the information. And I love how Carly breaks it down into pillars. So I don't know if you guys saw that in the chat, but like if you can write those topics down, like results based. Okay. And again, just know if you're new or you don't have your results or you're like, damn, I wasn't really very good at taking my pictures. Use some of ours. Like go take ours and use some of those things. Like I did one that shows multiple people's results. And I love that because I don't know who's watching it. It could be somebody that's 20 years old, like Carly. It could be somebody that's in their 40s, like I am. You know, so it's like, but she does results based, which shows before and afters. Her second one is habit based. So that would be like you using your products on a day to day, like just consistently. Okay. And then she does the sharing test results on the screen, which like that's so incredible that we have that extra tool. And again, it doesn't have to be like just yours. So if you don't have your tests based or your test results or you haven't retaken, I'm just about to retake mine. But if you haven't yet, like you can go use other people's. We've now been here long enough that we have lots and lots of like before and afters and testimonies and screenshots of test results. So know that you can also use other people's as well. I'm looking in these questions. Um,
I'm gonna put a couple caption ideas.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And okay. And somebody just said it. So while she adds that, this is another thing I want to share with you. Remember that creating content isn't about perfection. Like it's about connection, it's about community, it's about support, it's about connecting or sorry, having conversations. And what do we always say? Like conversations is where conversion happens, right? And same thing, exposure. So trial reels and just reels in general they're being exposed to so many more people. More exposure is going to equal more enrollments, plain and simple. So again, I love these things. And like Carly said, Carly's like, you know, because of me utilizing my social media, it's so easy when somebody can when I'm in person and they go and follow me like she's like they already know what I'm about like they can you know they're like it's on my stories it's here it's there so know that you guys that stuff is essentially just supporting the in-person stuff as well so you really can't go wrong with it. Does that make sense? Let me see. Oh, the other thing I was going to say, Joy, sorry Carly, was you guys I lean into my age. Like I own it. And I want you guys, I don't care what age you are. I want every single one of you on this Zoom to own it. If you're young, amazing. Like you're already where I wish I would have been at 20, to be honest with you, what and had the tools that you do now. At 40, we know we're going through a lot. We're busy. I'm a mom. Like we have hormones. I could, you know, be in perimenopause. Like we have those things. So do so many other people. If you are starting, you're like, well, I'm freaking overweight and I feel like dog crap. Guess what? So do other people, you know? And so essentially you have to understand there is so much power in your story. Stories sell over and over and over. And that's why like her results and being vulnerable. Like she said, she's like, I literally cringe when I see, but
No,
like
I
I
hate
see
it.
Carly's stuff come across and I don't cringe. I'm like, holy crap. Like, you know, and even knowing Carly, like I told her, I was like, Carly, your skin looks insane. Like it's like a complete transformation, you know? And so I want you guys to know that wherever you are, like that is part of your story and it is powerful and I want you to own it. Okay. So let me see. Carly put some stuff in here. Did you share in the chat what you put into Chat GPT? Like to help you with um creating like a hook or a caption or anything?
I can, yeah. Give me
Okay.
1 second. Sorry. It's making me like split this up because they're too
Oh
long.
yeah. Okay. So while she does that, you guys should be copying and pasting, okay? But I will tell you too, that's kind of cool. When you have a shorter reel, but you have a longer caption, it essentially keeps people on your page. So your reel recycles. And that is going to work in your favor when the algorithm is kicking in because it's showing that you have content that somebody's wanting to stay on rather than just swiping through or clicking through. So I know we've talked about that before, but I do just want to put that when she was just saying like this thing won't let her put it in. Having some longer captions and educating people is actually going to work in your favor. You don't need like short captions. Um, you more so want to just hook them in your like text that's on the reel.
So mine, if I like, I will just put, hello? Okay, what's happening here? And so because mine, like I've made so many of these captions, I'll be like make an omega 3-6 ratio. I talk to my chat GBT, so I don't type this out usually. I normally do a voice memo. So I'll be like, make me an omega 3-6 ratio caption about I didn't even know what it was. And but I was dealing with low energy, and then you insert whatever you're dealing with, if it's stubborn weight, if it's low energy, if it's whatever, literally. And then my test results came back, insert number here. Mine was 30-1, which is just crazy to me. Um, and everything started making sense after blah, blah, blah. And then I will just have it like really tailor to what I want and what I'm going through. Um, and so then I just change it up. If I'm like, I want it to be shorter, I want it to be longer, I want it to be skin based, I want it to be bloating based, I want it to be whatever. And so I literally, or if I want it to be like, stop guessing with your health, start testing. And people are like, what the heck is testing? And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know what it was either. Leaning into that confusion, like the one that I set in here is like, omega testing, what even is that? Like, because people are like, yeah, what are you even talking about, dude? And I'm like, I didn't know, and now I do. Because people really like when you're relatable to them. But yeah, that's just kind of how I've been running my business, and it's helped me gain reach on social media as well as then being able to have more conversations in person. So
Yes. And so good because I think sometimes, like I said, I know for myself, like I was telling Carly, when people are like, oh, I make this many trial reels a day. And I'm like, oh my God, like doing one reel takes me this. And then, but when you understand how they're doing that, you're like, okay, I can actually do that. Like I can go take out one clip and replace it with another one, you know? And so the other thing that I loved that I heard one time, I think it was Art who said it, but he was like, no one loves a know-it-all. So like when Carly says like I didn't even know what this was, or like you even saying like I didn't even know about the most important nutritional value or how important it was until I did. Like something so simple, like people they at the end of the day, no one like when you're talking at people and you're like, you should know what this is, or like that, like people don't like that. But if you're like, I didn't know this, or I wish I would have known this sooner, right? Like things like that, people are like, wait, what didn't she know? Like, what did she learn? And so when it comes to social media, too, just very simple. I was telling I wonder if I have this on here. Shoot, where did my sticky notes go? I wanted to say it was like, it's behind here somewhere, maybe. Y'all, if you even saw my computer and how many screens I have open, you'd be like, come on, Sarah. It may not even be on here. But anyways, it essentially what it was, you guys, is like focusing on also like your ease, right? So you want exposure, which trial reels is going to give you exposure. Host to post gives you lots of exposure. So you want exposure, but also educating people, right? Entertaining. So being funny stuff, like whatever it is, or like I told Carly, like being a mom to a sassy little girl, people are just dying when I like have that. Like when you have a spicy kid, like people are like, oh yeah, like everyone just relates to it. And so those are things that when you see some of those things doing well, repeat it, right? So those things are just entertaining. And then what essentially happens is they do bring you enrollments because now you have conversations, you have community, you have connection, and that's what's going to really amp up your enrollments. Is there any other questions? Can we all thank Carly for teaching us how to work smarter and not harder for those of us that really try to mess with stuff forever and we still can't figure it out? Because that's me.
One thing I forgot to share too is like how I shared on that where I have my results and then it transitions. So if I can see, it'll let you see on the sound like where that transition mark is. And so then it can be like 8 seconds. And then if you go back into CapCut, it tells you, how many seconds your video is. So then if I'm like, okay, I want to try this with a bloating transformation, then I know for this sound, I need my first results to be 3 seconds, and then it will match up perfectly, and then I don't even have to like think so much about, because trying to find certain, move the music so it works for you is kind of a pain in the butt. So if I'm like, okay, it transitions at 5 seconds, okay, let me make sure my next video has this for 5 seconds, and things like that. So but that's not even something you necessarily have to do. It's just kind of an extra step that I like to do when I have time. Sometimes it doesn't always line up perfectly, and that's okay too.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to stop this recording.